Hey, this is John with Smoke Eater Guitars. Our mission is to keep your axe playing its best at all times. On this channel, we'll cover some basic setups all the way up to pro level repairs. I'll show you tips, tricks, even some trade secrets. Our mission is to save rock and roll, one guitar at a time. Good morning, everybody. Today I got a pretty good video for us. We will be replacing the tuners to locking tuners on this Gretsch. This is a limited edition, I think it's a G5237T. Hey everybody, this is John with Smoke Eater Guitars. We're saving rock and roll one guitar at a time. I want to take a moment to kind of share with you guys what liking and subscribing does for the channel. We do a lot of charity work for new students, for young kids that are trying to learn guitar. A lot of those kids can't afford a real expensive guitar or even the repairs of a starter guitar. So by you liking and subscribing, it helps us keep those costs down. Do your part. Help save rock and roll one guitar at a time. And the tuners that I have for this job are locking tuners. I went with these because the gold on these look really good. B, they're the same style tuner that's on here, so the screw pattern is gonna be the same, so I don't have to drill any new holes. The screw patterns are going to be the same on between these and this. Remember what we talked about with these locking tuners. This knob twists in and out, and it has, I'm gonna see if, all right, so what happens is this little rod in here, when you screw it in, goes all the way up to the hole where the string goes through. So whenever you tighten this all the way down against that string, it holds it in place. So these, you don't have to do any windings on the strings around the post. You simply just tighten that all the way down, and it tightens up against that string and it holds it in place. So no winding is necessary. So to change out strings on here, it's really easy. You pull the string through, you put some tension on it, you tighten the lock down, and you cut it, and you're done. So it goes really, really quick whenever you're changing strings. And it's a little bit more stable. Your tuning's a little bit more stable. You don't have to stretch your strings out. Remember we talked about putting on new strings. When you put it on new strings, you have to stretch those strings. And part of that stretching process, what we're doing is we're trying to tighten these winds around the post as much as we can by stretching it, which will put tension against that and tighten those. Whenever you have locking tuners, you don't have those winds around your post. It makes that process go quick because you don't have a whole lot of string to stretch or a whole lot of windings to tighten. So I really like locking tuners. So what we're going to do is we are going to remove the strings, take these tuners off, and we'll probably do it one at a time. Take this tuner off, reinstall the new tuner. So first things first, we're going to take off some strings. All right. Now I'm going to get a 10mm socket, and we're going to unscrew all of these. That'll be the first thing we do. And whenever I first got this guitar, I always do a setup on my own guitars whenever I got it. And I go through and I tighten up everything, and I make sure that my strings are at the right height. I go through the nut. I go through the complete setup. And there's a video on setup. So I go through a complete setup on these. So everything on this guitar is nice and tight right now. But on these, you put them a little bit more than hand tight, and that's it. We're going to flip the guitar over at this point. These tuners have little screws in it, and they are left and right. You notice that they're on either side, and the screw heads always go to the back toward the neck, right? So there is a left and a right side to these. So whenever you're doing it, you've got to make sure that you're putting the left and right side on. We're going to work on this one first. And what we're going to be doing is just taking that screw out. Getting a little magnet tray to hold it, and we're going to take this off. All right. So these are going to be pretty simple to install. You basically, what I like to do is get these a little, not all the way tight, but at least started into the original holes. Again, they're a little loose still, but they're started. My electric screwdriver, my coreless electric screwdriver, I need to buy some magnetic tips for. My other screwdrivers have magnetic tips to them, and I could just put the screw on the end of the screwdriver and just put it in. So again, I leave them a little bit loose, and then I'll flip the guitar back over and put the screws on this side. I'm going to go ahead and take that saddle off. I'll put the screws in this side. But before we put the screws in, we want to compare to see if our new ones are as good and as high quality as the ones that came out. And in fact, I like the new ones that came with the new tuners better than the originals. So we're going to utilize the ones that came with it. Now it's important because we're dealing with some softer metal here. When you're doing this, you need to get it started properly on the threads before you start tightening anything down tight, because the reason I just use this and with my hand and not a ratchet, because I can judge whether or not there's any resistance there. They're easy to cross thread, so what you want to do is you want to be really careful when you're putting these on and not cross thread them. So I will kind of tighten them with my hand first and get them started before I bring in the socket. All right. So now that we got these two done, what we're going to do is go ahead and replace all of them and then flip it over one more time and put the screws in. So we're going to tighten these up. So we're going to be removing all these screws. So another reason why I leave these a little loose whenever I first install them is because when you put that bolt on the front side, it pulls that tuner down to the neck, and because of leverage, it kind of leverages up against that screw, and the screw is tight. So these are all tight and ready to go.